start.
Okay, hello everyone. Good evening. This is Jesna Begam. I'm sharing you a screen of my presentation so that can it will help you more to understand what I'm going to talk about. Okay, I hope my voice is audible for everyone. First of all, thanks so much for being here and for sharing this moment with me. I'm really excited to talk about a book that made a big impact on how I see life. The Five People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. As an avid reader, I have always loved stories that stay with me, that make me think long after I have closed the book. And this one, it's a gem. It's about life, love, and all those unseen connections that shape who we are. Today we will take a walk through Eddie's journey, and maybe, just maybe, we will discover a bit more about our own lives along the way. Sounds good, right? I hope you all um, buckled up and interested to know about Eddie's lives more. Yeah. Let's start with this idea. After the life, in most stories, heaven is described as a paradise full of clouds, harps, rainbows, unicorns. But Mitch Album gives us a different take. It's not just a reward for good life or a punishment for one who did bad in the earth. It's a place where you can finally understand your life. Imagine that. Imagine being able to look back at everything you have done and see it all in a new light, not in our old perspectives. So it's not about judging. Uh, it's about understanding. Albums Heaven is a place of learning and growth where every question you have ever had about your life gets answered. It's comforting, right? Yeah, obviously. It's this book comforted me more about knowing about the heaven. To think that maybe after everything we will get a chance to understand it all. Uh, Now let's go and meet our protagonist, the Eddie. Who's Eddie? Eddie is not a superhero, not a world leader. He's just a regular guy, a maintenance worker at an amusement park. Eddie's story starts with him thinking his life didn't really matter. But as we follow him, I hope many of us will thought that our lives really didn't matter at this age. So as we follow Eddie through heaven, we see that every life has values. Every life leaves a mark. Uh, every life, so my life leave a mark on yours, and yours life leave a mark on me, and even sometimes the people you don't even know. It made me think about how many of us feel like Eddie sometimes, wondering if what we do make a difference. But the truth is, we all touch more lives than we realize, often in ways we don't even see. So the first person Eddie meets in heaven is the blue man, someone Eddie didn't even remember, but their lives were connected in a profound way. Throughout this part, I'm going to be more precise. So I want all you to read the book. So I'm just reviewing the book. So I'll be more precise in that part. Uh, so yeah, who is the blue man? When Eddie was a boy, he ran into the street chasing a ball, causing the blue man to swerve his car and eventually die from a heart attack. Uh, the blue man teaches Eddie about the ripple effect. So the blue man is not there in heaven to meet Eddie and to get revenge from him or to punish him. He's just there to teach Eddie about Eddie's life, not about blue man life. So ripple effect. What is ripple effect? I hope many of us were known about the ripple effect. How our actions, even the ones we don't think about, can have far-reaching consequences, right? It's a powerful lesson in interconnectedness. So think about it. How many times we have done something small or big that might have changed someone's life without even knowing it. It makes you want to be a bit more mindful, like moment to moment. You have to be consuming the moments in a mindful way, of how you move through the world, doesn't it? Yeah. Next, Eddie meets the captain. So, Eddie is also an ex military veteran. So, he meets his captain in the heaven, his commanding officer from the war. The captain's lesson is about sacrifice. He explains that sometimes we have to give up something we love for something greater or someone greater. He tells Eddie that his life sacrifice during the war wasn't meaningless. It was a part of something bigger. This part remind me of all the quiet sacrifices people make every day. You know, parents sacrificing for the kids, friends for each other. It's a reminder that sacrifices isn't always about loss. It's about love, leadership, and about choosing what's best for others over what's easy for us. It's the whole concept about the sacrifices. Ruby. Now, who is Ruby? So, as I said before, Eddie were worked in an amusement park, right? The amusement park were named after Ruby. It's a it symbolizes the love between Ruby and Ruby's husband. Ruby's husband were built the Ruby Pier, an amusement park for Ruby. It's a separate story. While reading book, you may get to know about this beautiful love story. So yeah, Ruby's story takes Eddie to a different kind of reflection. Uh, Eddie's lives were more miserable than anyone's, and he always used to blame his father for his miserable life. So Ruby is there to teach Eddie that his father is not a man who caused all those troubles. Eddie had a difficult relationship with his father, filled with anger and resentment. Ruby helps Eddie seeing the holding on to the anger only hurts him. So here we go for the forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't about um, executing what happened, right? It's about freeing yourself from the pain. I think we all can relate to this one in some way. We have all had someone in our lives who hurt us, and it's so easy to hold on to that pain. But letting it go, mm, that's where the real freedom is. Ruby's lesson here is to encourages us to heal those old wounds, even if it's just for our own peace. Uh, Ruby's kind of angel that Eddie meet in. So as we all know about Mitch album, he never exaggerates his stories. He's just being simple. So as through my arbitrary view, Ruby looked like an angel who came and taught Eddie about the view of forgiveness and about his father. Then comes the sweet Margaret. Margaret is Eddie's wife. Their reunion is bittersweet, but still, trust me, beautiful. Margaret teaches Eddie that love doesn't end when life does. The love we give and receive becomes a part of who we are, shaping us forever. It's a reminder to cherish the love we have while we have it and to know that it stays, even when the people we love are gone, even when the people we love are die. I mean. This part really made me think about the relationships in my life and how important it is to appreciate them every day. We all, in the fast-pacing world, we all lost our gratitudes. So we have to be more conscious on being grateful on the relationships and appreciating them every day. Then we goes for the last person Eddie meets is Tala, a young girl from a tragic moment in his past. While he is in military. So Tala helps Eddie understand that his life had purpose. Eventually, he came to know that his life has purpose in heaven. So we all don't have to rush through, or we have all don't have to run in this world to find our purpose. Even we get to know about our purpose in the heaven. Yeah. So as I said before, Tala helps Eddie to understand his life purpose, even when he couldn't see it. She helps to show him that his work at Ruby Pier, which is an amusement park, kept countless children safe. It's a moment of redemption for Eddie, and it's a reminder that our lives have meaning, even when we don't feel it. This encounter is a call to see the value in what we do, to understand that every job, every action has a purpose. Lessons learned. So, what are the lessons I learned from this book? Each person at the meets in heaven offers a lesson, but together they all tell a biggest story about how every life is connected. Mm, it's about it's about understanding that the things we do, the choices we make, ripple out and touch each other's, not the one with us today or not the one is going to be with us tomorrow, but in our daily life, we're meeting us, the strangers, uh, a smile from the conductor daily morning, a wave of hands from the watchman. These people were ID is talking about. Sorry, Mitch Album is talking about. So it's a reminder that we are all are a part of a larger story, and that every life is significant, even mine and yours and ours. It makes me think about how we can be more intentional in our actions, more thoughtful about the ways we interact with the world. So yeah, uh, as the book speak more about the role of sacrifice, sacrifice is the recurring theme in this book. And Eddie's journey is one of the reflection, looking back at his life and seeing it in a new way. Uh, it is a reminder for us to take time to reflect on our own lives, right? To think about the legacy we are leaving behind. We are not leaving our legacy for our new generations or anything. We are leaving behind our legacies just for ourselves, uh, to the essence to stay on the earth even after we were gone. So yeah, what do we want to be remembered for? Ask the questions to yourself. How do we want to impact the people around us? So these are the big questions, but they are worth asking. This book makes you think about how the things you do every day contribute to the bigger picture of your life. So yeah, and then embracing the journey. You have to embrace your journey on this earth while you are here. In the end, the five people you meet in heaven is about embracing the journey with all its ups and downs. It's a call to live more fully, to appreciate the moments we have, and to see the connections we share with others. It's about understanding that every encounter, every relationship, every choice has meaning. Yeah, of course, everything has meaning. And it's about finding peace in the knowledge uh, that we are all part of something greater in others' lives too. So when we start to think about that, yeah, our lives contribute to others' happiness, anything, it makes us to live our life more in an embracing way. So yeah, um so they conclude, to wrap it all up, this book is a beautiful reminder that our lives are deeply interconnected. Every person we meet, every action we take plays a part in a much longer story, much larger story. And when we look back, we might just see that our lives were more meaningful than we ever realized. And thank you all for being here, and for letting me share this journey with you. And now you can share your thoughts or an arbitrary views about the book now. Is anyone is interested here to share about your thoughts about the book?
So, hi Jesna. So I just have some thoughts to share. I haven't read this book, but the theme on which it am I audible? Hello.
Ah, yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So I haven't read it like the particular book, but the theme on which it focus, I have read a literature and content on compassion and forgiveness, sacrifice and love. So like these are really very, you can say, a profound emotions or state that in which the human can live. But there is a one question that come in my mind, and we can also reflect on this, like as these emotions, or if I call it as an emotion or a state of mind, if we talk about embracing such state of mind, how we can start this journey, because talking about being compassionate, but when it comes to real life incident or the instances where we supposed to be compassionate, or you can say forgiving, so how we can practice by our own, and also inspire people around us to practice the same, so that will um, you can say facilitate or help us contributing in the society, and will create an impact. So this is the one question, because I guess a compassion, developing compassion might not be that easy, because we all are governed by such deep conditioning and the beliefs that we carry from our culture, our education, or whatever we you can say the acculturation agent we pass through. So this is the one question. If you would like to add on or your thoughts on the same, and I would also like to hear from others if they are interested.
So yes, sir. We all having carrying our own cultures. So with that carrying, we all carrying our own cultures. With that, we also have to start to cultivate the self compassion, which involves developing the empathy. So how to cultivate those self compassion? We have to recognize our own thoughts first of all, emotions, physical sensations, without any judgments. So when we stop to judging our own selves, I think we stop judging others too. So speak to yourself with the same kindness and care that you would offer to a good friend, or that you would offer to your family members. That's what all we have to do when we are focusing on improving our self compassion. So accept that it's okay to make mistakes, that you are doing the best you can, and also we have to pay attention to others at the same time. Ask open-ended questions and seek to understand their perspectives. So in this meeting too, you all listen about my perspective, so now I am interested to listen about all your perspective. That's how we can develop the empathy, self compassion, and understanding. So imagine how they might be feeling and try to see things from their point of view, from others' point of view. Avoid making assumptions. First of all, we have to avoid making assumptions or jumping into conclusions about others. Um, and we also have to help those in need, whether it's at a local charities, animal shelters, community event, whatever we are interested in. It never involves the culture we are following and the tradition we are the tradition that are influencing us, and we have to be there for others, be there for friends, family, or colleagues who are going through a tough time. So yeah, and also we can start to meditate on compassion, focusing on sending kindness or surrounding. So the total point here is to we have to surround ourselves with positive influences, spending time with people, embedding the compassion and the kindness. So yeah, here is to remember that compassion is a muscle that can be developed over time with practice, patience, and consistency, I think so. So we have to start with small steps by reading this book. So novels have a lot of compassion from my point of view. By reading this book, my self-compassion and empathy were gradually increases. So by Doing something that related to talking about others or thinking about others can make us to be more self compassionate and to be empathetic, or increase our kindness. That's what my thoughts all about the compassion.
Beautifully said, Jesna. I couldn't agree more on what you have said because I completely support the notion like it's not an overnight process. It's a journey that one should pursue, and we don't know how long it will go. But without expecting something, we should like keep reflecting and asking question and observing our behavior, thought, and emotions, and that is only I think it's a kind of ultimate way. And apart from this, there is a one activity which has been suggested by one of my professor during my undergraduation, so that I would like to share. And uh, actually there are two activities. So first is uh, keep a day or a 2 day when you are just saying yes to everything. So it might sound like kind of a idiotic or is stupid, but there is a, you can say you can say a very profound uh, you can say mechanism behind it. When we say yes to everything, we are inviting, we are trying to communicate with the universe or the people or the things or the nature around us. So uh, if we keep a day or the 2 day where we are just saying yes to everything, not this might also involve some you can say instances where yes can hamper our well-being or maybe you can say impact in the negative way. So in that case, we can be proactive in our approach of saying no. But the main approach here is to embracing the field, the nature around us. So this is the one activity, and we can go much deeper, and we can keep a separate session on this because uh, by just saying just say yes to everything, it might sound stupid or idiotic. But when we try to understand, like, what does I mean, or by saying when I just say accept everything what the nature is offering. So that goes in the different context. So we can keep a different, you can say, session, or we can just discuss if you are interested later on. And second is uh, try to involve in any event where you didn't expect anything in return from the person or the from the action, even the psychologically, like if we are there are might be some deeds or some action from our end where we unconsciously our ego get boosted, like when we involve in some altruistic behavior or something which is uh, benefiting the other person, then our ego get boosted unconsciously, like I did that task and I'm proud of me. So that is a pride itself is a kind of a, you can say a kind of a attachment or the uh, you can say functioning of the mind. So we can try to observe our mind and involve in some voluntarily task where we are not expecting even a growth, evolution, anything. We are just involving in that task, like merging ourselves. That can be kind of a langar in Gurudwara or just visiting any old age home or the blind school or handicapped school where we are teaching. But in that process, the important part is observing our mind, where the psychological attachment or the ego or the pride or any positive emotion or the negative emotion is coming. When we start observing that, then that will flower ourselves, evolve our soul. Like we will get more connected with the quietness and the calmness. So these are the two activities that one can practice from my end, like input from my end, and that reflection part that you have said, that is, I think that's ultimate. We should journal, we should reflect, we should ask questions, we should discuss, and we should accept that the individual or the different identity as it is. Yeah, so that's from my, and we can hear from others if anyone have other thoughts. Yes, Anitya. Uh, have you raised your hand by mistake?
Yeah, Bhaiya, that was a mistake.
Okay, it's fine.
I have something to say. May I go?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so as ma'am was telling the briefs, like the people to whom Eddie met in the heaven, so I just got struck with one of the persons. I think that was the third person that Eddie met, that was Ruby, right? So as she was explaining the things that Ruby told about to Eddie, there was one thing that I noticed ma'am said was Ruby made Eddie realized about the lessons of love and family and some familiar relationships. So on the basis of that, when I heard that, I just a thing struck into my mind that generally what happens, we just keep ourselves busy in like obtaining or gaining the materialistic things so much in our day-to-day life that it becomes so some kind of a tough thing for us to pay attention to those short things, those small things that are the most important for us, that are the matter of interest actually for our being. But we just get so much engaged in finding those things that are out of our reach that we get confused even what is the real motive of having a life, having a soul in our body, we can say. And just last day I heard someone saying while scrolling some reels and all कि अगर बिस्तर ही लगाते रह जाएंगे तो हम उस पे सोने की मतलब तैयारी ही करते रह जाएंगे तो सोएंगे कब. So I just connected that quote to somehow what ma'am described from that third person wala thing. So that I like the most कि चीज़ें अगर प्रिपेयर ही करते रह जाएंगे मटीरियलिस्टिक चीज़ों के पीछे ही लगे रहेंगे तो व्हेन विल वी एंजॉय दैट एवरी बिट ऑफ मोमेंट. So yeah, this was the thing that I connected with when ma'am was saying the part of the third person.
Yeah, that's a good one, Nandini. Uh, so in Eddie's point of view, he didn't use the social media or internet, but in past there is also some other ways for distraction. Even when there is no internet, people are uh, avoiding avoiding their own families, like they don't have to talk about anything to their families, even though they were lived in the same room or same hall. So why even nowadays we don't know what our parents are going through, right? Everything is it's always about us. So the third person were taught idea about that. Don't always focus on what you are going through. Also, just put the shoes of your father and walk for 10 miles and just get to know about your father's life. Then if we start to do that thing, we'll never hate, or sometimes we start to hurt our parents by using the words. We never hate or hurt our parents in that way. So the most important thing is to, as I said before, we have to be empathetic. Uh, we have to be empathetic on our parents. How to be empathetic? We have to think about them. Uh, that's how. So consuming internet is very interesting, and also we learn many things, like you said before. Yeah, but also we have to know what our parents are going through. That's how we can develop the self-compassionate and empathy. You know. As I, as anyone there have to share your thoughts, you may just share it here.
Okay, so I am assuming there is no one to share their thoughts, so it's okay. We have other book review lineup for the further month, and like we also offered, we have also opened a recorded review, you can say feature at book club. So we will be also getting to know like book review in the form of recorded session. So I guess we can call it a day here. So thank you everyone for joining, and thank you Jesna for such a exemplary presentation. It was really very like good time for exchanging ideas. Yeah, so looking forward to reconnect in near future for other book reviews and interaction. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you everyone, and thanks sir for providing me this opportunity to present the book review. Thank you everyone.